Disney ruined Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett Season 1. Or at least that's what some people are claiming. There's a lot of people claiming that, and there are other people who love the show. I've got more responses of people that love the show than people that hate the show. But did Disney actually ruin Boba Fett with the show, with his less than warrior demeanor, with his letting other people take care of his business or letting somebody else tell him how to run his establishment? But what I have to say about Boba Fett under the Disney era of Star Wars may surprise you. In fact, some of you will be astonished. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Gerald, and I'm a Star Wars fanatic, and you can be a Star Wars fanatic too. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. You can join the channel as a member, or you can join our Patreon page. But with all that said, let's get on with today's topic. With a quick wardrobe change, I am back and ready to move on with the topic. I'm not going to script this one. I'm just going to play it off the hip and do whatever my heart feels right. So I've heard a lot of people complain that the Book of Boba Fett has ruined Boba Fett, that Disney has ruined the character of Boba Fett. Well, partially, maybe you're right for this series. The Book of Boba Fett did show him as a little bit slower moving than he used to be, a little less ruthless and a little less bounty hunter. And he didn't seem right fitting into the role of daimyo or crime lord. But I'm sure in this video I'll get called out for being a shill or something like that for Disney, which I'm not. I don't get paid by Disney. I don't have insiders. I don't know anybody at Disney. Would I like to? Maybe. Maybe I'd be a little more accurate in my theories and predictions if I was. But this is all about the character of Boba Fett, how some perceive him as changed, as ruined, as made soft, and all this. Yet all those complaints were brought up in the Book of Boba Fett when, Cad Bane said he got soft in his older age. He said, we all do, blah, 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 blah. And this isn't a complaint about the Book of Boba Fett. This is just a little bit of contrast as to what actually happened under the Disney era of Boba Fett. Most people have only seen the Book of Boba Fett. They only watch the live action or the animated series that pop up on Disney Plus. And that's fine. I get that. And I do get, if that's all you've seen, that could be a complaint that Boba Fett has been ruined, that Disney's trying to trash old legacy characters. And I'm here to say it's not really the case, because unless you've read the comic books, then you really don't know the full story. Boba Fett has been developed under the new comic books in the Disney era, specifically in the War of the Bounty Hunters comic series and the Bounty Hunter comic series, which are two different series, but they overlap into one during the War of the Bounty Hunters issues. Also, the Darth Vader comic series and the regular Star Wars comic series have featured Boba Fett as well, and showing him as different than what we've seen him in the Book of Boba Fett. In the Book of Boba Fett, we see him as this guy who's ready to almost retire, but he's tired of people hiring him to almost die or his type to die in order to achieve a certain goal in the crime community, which isn't to his liking, because they're all fodder for these guys who are just reaping the benefits and making stupid decisions. He mentions this in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, I, for one, was a little bit shocked that we didn't get to see the Boba Fett that we wanted to see, the kick-ass Boba Fett, the one that's going in, tearing up everybody. I thought going into it that's what we'd see, but I didn't hold that as a speculation that had to happen. I was open to anything that could happen in this series. And I would have liked to seen a little more impending doom, like a little more tension, like maybe a main character or two get killed off in the big battle or something like that. I mean, Garza Fwip dying, that was not a main character, but it was still a shock when it happened. But at the same time, I wasn't disappointed in the level of entertainment that we got. Yes, somebody else could have been killed or something like that, or anything really big. And the biggest part was Cad Bane, and that was cool. It was nice seeing Cad Bane again. His story's over, but I'm sure we'll see him in series that takes place before this all happened. So don't fret. This isn't the last time we'll see Cad Bane live action, I'm sure. And also, this video isn't there to make anybody feel bad for not liking the series. We like what we like. We dislike what we dislike. And that's all up to everybody as an individual to understand what they like and what they don't. If you didn't like this series, that's fine. That's up to you. liked it for what it was. It was a Boba Fett story that was a little different than what anybody had expected, myself included. But if you go back and you have the time, go back and read the War of the Bounty Hunters comics and the Bounty Hunter comics and all the ones that I've mentioned, because it does show the Boba Fett that we all wanted to see. The Boba Fett during The Empire Strikes Back or right after and before Return of the Jedi. Boba Fett takes down a lot of big names, and he does it with that careless attitude that we saw him in The Empire Strikes Back. That barely talking, that shoot him first, don't worry about the questions. He took down Bosk, 4LOM, Zuckuss, Dengar, IG-88, and Bylert Valance. He took them all with pretty much ease and without an uncaring emotion for any of them. He used them until their time was up, and bam, they were gone. So if you want the Boba Fett that you were looking for from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I know it's not live action or even animated, but it is in the comics and it is canon. So to say Disney ruined Boba Fett, Disney was over that project as well. Disney doesn't write the material. They can give a little bit of direction or say what they'd like to see out of certain things. And most of all, I'm sure they want to keep fans happy. Fans happy means fans watch their stuff. Means their profits grow, their margins grow, and they haven't made anybody mad. But a lot of people are just anti-Disney, and that's okay. I get it. Some people don't like corporations or the Disney Corporation for buying out everything, and that's fine. I'm not here to say you should love Disney. I mean, I have issues with some of the stuff Disney does as well, but you know, for what it is, it's Star Wars, it's fantasy, it's whoop whoop pew pew, space wizards and space pirates and whatnot. And I don't think it could get any better. Look at all we're getting from the Disney era. We're getting so much. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi series getting ready to start up in May. And I mean, amazing or not has yet to be seen, but it's going to be a story. It's going to be something to add into the canon. But I digress. This is all about how Disney's changed Boba Fett, and they really haven't. They've just changed the end of his life. And I know a lot of the speculation was that he was going to be like his Legends counterpart, and that still could be true, because at this time, it's only 5-6 years after Return of the Jedi, where his Legends part was 25 years after Return of the Jedi. There's a lot of growing that's happened in a shorter time span than it did in the Legends material. And we still have the Ahsoka series coming out, Andor, Kenobi, all this stuff where we may see Boba Fett in his original form. May. I'm not saying we are. Like I said, I don't have any insiders. I don't know anybody at Disney or Lucasfilm or any of the writers or directors. I mean, I know me and I know my kids and I know my wife. That's about it. And you guys. I know you guys and I appreciate every one of you. But let's just keep an open mind. I'm not saying you have to love the stuff that's coming out. Just watch it with an open mind instead of speculating that Disney's going to ruin everything. Because like I said, the War of the Bounty Hunters comics and the Bounty Hunters comics, the Darth Vader comics, and the Star Wars comics, all of them have been great. They've been amazing. I still have to catch up on the Crimson Reign comics. I've finished 1 or 2 of the issues so far, but I do need some more to get in, and so far they're pretty good. I'm liking them. But Boba Fett has more story to tell. He's not dead. He didn't die in the battle, and they're not just going to leave him hanging, because at the end of that episode, the last episode, he said, "We're not cut out for this." And she said, "If not us, who?" Then it pans off to Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth is one we got to watch, and I'm sure he's going to play a role in the future series coming out. But just keep an open mind. They haven't really changed Boba Fett that much. Yes, in the War of the Bounty Hunters, in the 6-month period or 5-year period, whatever it takes place, he's changed. But that doesn't mean he can't revert back, because we saw how he took out Cad Bane. And we saw the ruthlessness in his eyes and his face. We saw it when he was taking out the red pajama guys in the first couple episodes. He still had that look, that terrifying look, like, yeah, I'm going to kill you, you're going to die, type of thing. He's not totally gone, so he can be resurrected, and I'm sure he will. Whether there's going to be a season 2 or not, that has a lot to be seen. There's been no announcement or anything that I know of, and I don't know if they're even planning on making a second season, especially after the criticism they got for the first season. I'd hope they do, and I hope they do bring his character back to being more Boba Fett than what he was in the series. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in how soft he actually became. I wanted to see a little more kick-ass and ruthlessness in it. But at the same time, he did save Din Djarin's skin a couple times during the last episode. So let's just be prepared. Let's see what happens. Disney didn't ruin Boba Fett. In fact, they kept him going in the older timeline as he was in The Empire Strikes Back. Just check out those comics if you haven't yet, and you might be able to find them online or something, little snippets of it, or at least just some stills of him taking out the other bounty hunters and whatnot. But just keep it in mind. And this is coming from a guy who's been a Boba Fett fanatic since 1980, really since the promotional stuff with his white armor and the little Star Wars towel dangling off of him. I've been into Boba Fett since then. Why? Well, mostly back then it was because of the mystique of him, how mysterious he was, how quiet, and how he could talk to Vader like nobody else would without getting choked. Yes, true that George Lucas originally intended Boba Fett to be Anakin Skywalker's brother, but they changed it. So, or Darth Vader's brother, sorry, but they changed it. So Boba Fett was still ruthless, still mysterious, but how much do we know about the character of Boba Fett after seeing him for 6 minutes and 32 seconds in 2 films? Yes, we had the Legends continuity that showed a lot of Boba Fett after those events, and that's some of what we speculated and brought into the Book of Boba Fett. We wanted that Boba Fett to be told. Well, how many times have they told that story? It's time to change it up just a little bit. And again, I'm not shilling for Disney or anything. If you don't like it, that's fine. I understand. I do. I get it. I don't want my Boba Fett ruined either. Well, he's not my Boba Fett. I don't own him. But my headcanon Boba Fett, I don't want him ruined either. But I don't think he's going to be. I think there's going to be so much more to him than what we've seen previously in this series. I think Disney's building it up, or Lucasfilm rather, because Disney doesn't write the stuff. But I think they're building it up, and they're going to keep us older fans and the younger fans that like Boba Fett. They're going to keep us intrigued. They're going to keep us guessing at what's next. Yes, we're going to have some little belly aches over little things. We had belly aches over every Star Wars project. There hasn't been a Star Wars movie or series or comic or novel one that somebody hasn't had a complaint about, and me included. I've complained about certain things in every movie. I just don't dwell on the negatives. I don't sit and hang on the negative stuff. I try to stay a little more positive and keep that going and keep that dream alive, because that's what it is. This is a fantasy world that all of us are entangled in. So that's all I got to say about that. Now, I'd like to move on. So if you guys didn't know, when you comment on my videos, I do take one comment and I highlight it at the end of my next video. So right now I'd like to take the time to highlight a comment from my last video. I'm going to read it from my phone, so don't mind my phone being right here in my face and whatnot. And this comment comes from Vinny Vitty Vintage. And Vinny has this to say: as someone who read a lot of the books, I was pretty frustrated at the new direction Disney took Star Wars. But that is because I really already had stories that I wanted to be told. After stepping back, especially episode 9, I had accepted that I wasn't going to get what I wanted and just went for the show. It was still fun and I enjoyed it. Are there plot holes and things I didn't like? Of course. But I'm still a fan and always will be. I think the Disney Plus shows are moving in the right direction and look forward to where it all goes. And don't mind how far I hold my phone away. I do have bad eyes. See, I'm wearing these little dudes right here. But that's the whole thing. It's a positive mindset. It's going into these things without hard speculations. Yes, you can want certain things to happen and hope they happen. But if they don't, you can't be too upset with it, because they can't read our minds. And I know they do frequent some social media sites that see how people say, well, I'd like this to happen, this to happen. And they're not thwarting those speculations just to piss you off. They're not doing it just to make you mad. They're doing it because there's a story to tell, and they're going a different direction with that story, and they're gonna build it up and hopefully make everything right for everyone, or at least as many people as they can. We know we can't make everyone happy. Some people are just unhappy, and that's okay. And it takes all types of walks of life to make this place diverse. And we're all Star Wars fans. We all love different aspects of it, and some of us love all aspects of it. But there is something for all of us in here. And thank you, Vinny, for that. I really appreciate that comment. And everybody that comments, I really appreciate. You've all stayed pretty positive and not too many degrading remarks, and which is fine. We can disagree all day long and still get along. We don't have to like everything together. And me, I just like getting along with people. So I really appreciate y'all. This is Gerald from Star Wars Fanatic signing off, wishing you all great health and happiness. And my heart and prayers go out to all those affected in the recent world events. We are with you. We are thinking about you. This isn't a way to not think about you or not realize what's going on in the world. It's consuming our daily lives, even all the way over here in the United States. So please stay positive. Keep our prayers, guys. Keep praying for these people. Keep praying for a peaceful resolution in the world. Thank you all for watching. And remember, this is the way, the only way.